Hello, people of Connecticut. My name is Selena Rifkin, and I am here with the excellent Jason Douglas. And we are here to talk about things common sense in Connecticut. And the excitement has not ceased. And Jason had an exciting day yesterday, and he's going to
That's
talk
for sure.
about it.
Common sense audit happened to me when I least expected it.
Woohoo!
And then we have another common sense history too, about history things. But anyway,
Okay.
I did on Facebook this morning, I did a pretty long live feed about everything that had happened last night. And I didn't do it on here yet because I'm working out the technology on that. We're going to start doing it here. But yesterday, we worked yesterday. I had a subpoena to serve in Great Barrington, Massachusetts,
I
which
know
is
where
quite
that
a
is.
ways away, a lot further away than I even thought, really. It's pretty far out there.
I've been
Um,
there.
yeah, I undercharged the people too. Oh, man, it burned myself real bad with that.
Hmm.
Because I had to go, when people hire me to do a subpoena, they hire me for up to 3 attempts. And usually we space them out, one before 8, one after 6, one during the business day. Usually I'd try to do the after 6 or before 8 as part of the first two because people generally aren't home during the day and it's a waste of time.
Hmm.
So, but in this particular case, I made a little bit of a mistake because I got to the third attempt, and this it was a little old lady. Her neighbor, it was a duplex, and the woman next door said she was home. I don't know why she's not home, but she wasn't answering the door. I couldn't hear any noise in there. And what I made a mistake of doing is not posting it because some states allow you to post the papers on the door, other states do not. For
Hmm.
some reason, in my head, it was only one page I was serving, it was one piece of paper. And for some reason in my head, I was late. I was tired. I was like, I just didn't think to post it because, to be fair, the guy didn't tell me I could post it. Usually you're supposed to go by the instructions you're told. But
Right.
I know the state of Massachusetts, the papers were from Massachusetts and it was being served in Massachusetts. I happen to know you can post in Massachusetts, but I just didn't do it. And then I told the guy, I was like, well, if you want me to go out there a fourth time, it's going to cost another fee. And I thought, well, you know what? I probably should have posted it. He should have told me. So I made a deal with him. And I go back out there again for gas money, $30, right?
All
To
right.
go back out there for the fourth time and put it on the door, post it on the door. So anyway, I'm on my way out there. I'm going to get there late afternoon, I figure. And I have some in the evening to do on the way home. I actually have one in Westfield, Massachusetts, a little closer to home. I have one in Newington, West Hartford, blah, blah, blah. But just before I'm about to leave at 3 o'clock to go out there, I get a call I do emergency truck accidents, by the way, in
Okay.
Connecticut and
What,
in
what
Massachusetts.
does that mean?
Well, if a tractor trailer gets into certain companies that I work for, an insurance company that covers tractor trailers.
Oh, so that you go and look at it for
Yeah,
them.
so when there's a fender bender or an accident, I go on the scene immediately
Okay.
to interview the driver, take pictures of the truck, get the story, maybe the other driver if they're there, or try to figure out what's going on with that. Maybe get a police report, maybe do some canvassing for
Hmm.
surveillance video, et cetera, et cetera. Investigate. That's
Right.
what I do, right? So I get a call for one in Bridgeport. Now, you're not going to find, if you want to fact check me, you're not going to find this online because I cover every accident. So this is just like even little fender benders, little things that don't, even if they don't make the news or whatever. I've done about 25 of them so far, and only one had any injuries to it. So yeah. As a matter of fact, in this one, our driver denies it even happened. So it's so minor. But anyway, I've now got to go to Bridgeport before I go to Great Barrington. And for those of you who don't know the map, just look at a map of southern New England, and well, Bridgeport's pretty far away from Great Barrington on the western side.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh man! So I go down to Bridgeport, handle it down there. I meet the guy at a rest area, get pictures, and they go to the scene, take some pictures, canvas, blah blah. Gets to be about 7 o'clock. I go to Great Barrington now. Well, I get all the way into a town called New Marlborough, Massachusetts, which I didn't even know existed, quite frankly. I know there was a New Marlborough. I knew about Marlborough. I didn't know about New Marlborough. I'm going through New Marlborough, Massachusetts last night at about 8:25 at night, and suddenly I see a state police vehicle behind me.
Hmm.
And now, normally, I have a philosophy when I've been pulled over now. I am a motor vehicle. I drive safely, but let's call it efficiently. I'm an efficient driver. I prefer to call it as, right? Sometimes I drive a little faster, not recklessly, but enough to get where I'm going. He pulled me over, and normally when I get in the past when I've been pulled over, my philosophy has been basically
Hmm.
his police officer butt.
He's,
right?
he's making kissy face for those of you who are just listening.
Yeah, I might get too much hair in my mouth, so you may not know. But it's basically, oh gee, officer, I'm so sorry. Here's everything you need. Everything you need. Gee, I didn't realize I was going. I usually try to be. I'm just not. I'm so sorry. And I would do it that way. And about 50% of the time, I would actually get away with a warning. You know, almost like. And if you're like a good-looking young girl, definitely do it that way. Oh, I'm so sorry, officer. You're going to get off 90% of the time. And for a guy like me, 50% of the time, it still works. So sometimes I get a ticket, sometimes I don't, And as I got older, I drive slower, so I don't get pulled over much anymore or anything like I used to. But he pulled me over. And of course, now I haven't been pulled over in a long time. And now I have a new philosophy. I've been doing this audit stuff. And I'm thinking, no more. This is a dress rehearsal for what I'm going to do.
Might as well practice. It's an
Might as well
opportunity.
practice. So I'm seeing this as like, oh no, I got pulled over. And then the other side of me is going, oh my goodness, this is a chance for me to, grab my Joby here. Let's do this. This is like a dress rehearsal now. I'm getting pulled over for something here.
Well, he was recording you, so you might as well record him back.
He's recording me. So
Which is good. We like body cams. Body cams are good.
I'm good with, I love cameras.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be more and more of that going on. So I posted the video, so you guys got to watch it. But I caved. I started with, oh, I know my rights. You have to tell me why you pulled me over. You have to reasonable articulate, suspicion. Why did you pull me over? If I got a speeding ticket, if you think I'm speeding, it's fine. But you got to identify yourself. Explain why you're here. What's your name and badge number, and what am I being charged with? Well, the young guy, he was polite, but he refused. He wouldn't tell me who he was or what I was being pulled over for. He just wanted my license and registration. That was it. And I'm like, dude, you gotta tell me who you are. I don't even know you're a real cop.
Oh. Huh.
I don't even know you're a real cop, man. What if you're just some freak pulling me over with lights?
Well, you know what? Honestly, that is a genuine concern.
Sure.
That's one.
Especially out in the middle of nowhere like that.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
So the guy got in his CB. He said, "Oh, we're not doing this. 2020." So I caved. Simply for number one, I don't have the kind of video recording equipment necessary yet to really capture everything the way I wanted to. I just had my phone in my hand, kind of pointing, whatever. I told him I was going to be recording him. He's like, you're going live on Facebook. I said, I didn't put it live on Facebook, but I said, you're going live. He's like, great. He says, he did not back off at all. And I just had to feel he was calling for backup. And I was like, I don't want to get arrested out here in Great Barrington, Massachusetts at 8:00 at night because of a stupid speeding thing. It just wasn't worth it.
Your battles.
Pick your battles.
Yeah.
So I did a Caitlin Bennett basically. I said, look, fine, here's my license. I'm like, but you're doing you're violating my Fifth Amendment rights. I have the right to remain silent, or Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights. He just took the license, right? And he came back and gave me a ticket, gave me the spiel, and I started to tell him, you're a public servant. You're supposed to. He just walked away. Right, I was in the middle trying to tell him,
Right
away. Just, whatever.
Great places to be too.
The guy was actually very polite. And calm as he was calling for his backup and everything, but he was not going to. He did violate my Fifth and Fourth Amendment rights. He did, but I let him get away with it because again, it was late and it wasn't worth the battle right now.
Yeah, well,
so I just gave him the dumb thing and he gave me my ticket, whatever. But we're going to do there's an online hearing you can do for it. We're going to do the online hearing live on Facebook, I think.
Okay.
When it comes up, and
all right.
So I have 20 days to respond.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait till day 19 and then send in no, not guilty. And he finally told me, he did finally tell me who his name was and his badge number was.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he did finally tell me everything, what I was being charged with, but he wouldn't do it until I showed him all my stuff.
Okay.
That's the nuance.
Yeah, because it's like authority figure with a firearm. It's like, we should know that you're legitimate.
Yeah.
This is important.
So I think I might pursue it, a little bit. Because that's not how you handle it, really.
Yeah. Maybe
now, I was probably speeding. I'm saying I wasn't speeding. I probably was.
Right.
You know what they do? They have a little, what I call the Roscoe P. Coltrane Boss Hog Dukes of Hazzard scheme they do in these small towns.
Okay.
Now, if you've ever driven through like Vermont or even like Western, like Litchfield County or Berkshire, places that are more rural and in nature.
Yep.
There's woods you're driving around, then you come to a little town, right?
Oh, yes.
You go through the town, and you're back into the, and the speed limit in around these towns is usually 45, 50 miles an hour.
And then you get into
course,
the town and it's 25 or
it's
30.
25 or 30, which is rightfully so, right? Because people
Right.
around and should go slower in the towns, whatever. What these cops do is they set their car up right at the change point.
Right. And if you're not right there,
And
yeah.
if you're not right there, if you see the sign, you're like, okay. And naturally, I do slow down for towns. I'm a safe driver, but
Right.
I go, if you're not slowing right that second,
Yeah, right.
they clip you. It happened to me in Vermont about 6 years ago, and it happened to me last night. That's what the guy did. He set up right as coming to their little village.
Mhm.
It's scummy,
Yeah.
really. You
Yeah.
know.
Definitely happened to me. Although I have to tell you about the time that my cat got me out of a ticket.
Oh, this one I got to hear.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I go back and forth to Maine once a month. I've been doing this for 25 years because my mom's up there. I have some things that I do up there. I do a little teaching, I make a little money, but mom's elderly, and when I started this, I was like, I kind of have a life here, even though I met my husband, he lived in Connecticut, and it ended up being a very good lifestyle for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I take my cats with me in the
Yeah.
car for 5 hours, and I've done
Yeah,
this.
I don't know how you do that because I don't. Bella's only been in a car, and Bella's been in a car twice in her life. The
Yeah.
first time she lost her mother, second time she lost her down below,
Uh-huh.
and the third time we put her in a car, she put her head herself around my head like a turban and started going rah, digging into my head. I was like, stop the car! We don't
Well,
sleep in the
mine
cars.
have been travel. They just do this. One of them does not like it, even though
Yeah, I
he's been
bet.
doing this since he was a kitten, and the other two go to sleep. They
Hmm.
have they've got their different
You put them in
spots.
cages, or they just put them in the car?
Free range, and they
Yeah.
they have harnesses on, and when they're young, I have it's like I can hook my finger into the harness and keep them from going under my feet, which is my only concern, or in front of my.
Yep.
It's like, no, you're not allowed there. Stop that.
Right. Right.
And they listen to me. They do. I
Yep.
know people don't think that you can train a cat. You can absolutely train cats. It just takes.
Sure. They're smart.
Yeah,
Lenny's brilliant, man.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I literally wrote a book about this.
Well,
But so I'm driving through, I was driving through the little town in Maine that I go through, and it's near Bowdoin College. And if you go, you come in through the town, and Bowdoin College, there's this big long stretch, and the road's kind of wide, and it was late because I used to drive at night all the time. I was really tired. So I'm going through there, and I'm going a little fast, and I get pulled over. And I've got my little gray cat. He's passed now, but yeah, little gray cat on my lap. And I roll down the window, and Cloudy pops up and goes over to the window and puts his paws up and says, "Hey!" And the cop comes up, and he's got his stuff out, and he's like getting his stuff out, and it looks like he said, "Kitty!"
Won him right over.
What him right over. It was like Cloudy.
Put it back in the pocket. That's awesome.
And he was so excited about the cat that he was just like, oh, just slow down. You know how these college people
Yeah. That's
are.
great. That's
Like,
awesome.
thank you,
I hope
sir.
you bought up some good catnip for that night.
Are you kidding? That cat was my cats are all spoiled like crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
I always get spoiled a lot too.
it's very funny.
That's great.
Oh yeah. Cloudy was just like, boop. Like, hey, can I help?
Hey, how you doing? Tunsis, the driving cat.
Yeah.
Remember Tunsis, the driving cat from Saturday Night Live?
No, I don't.
Oh God! Oh, you
Although
should
I
watch
don't
those.
know. Yeah, no, I don't remember
They're
that.
funny.
Okay.
He
Well, there's,
drives.
there's a couple videos. There's videos out there. It's like you'll be watching, it's like you see some video and it's like some car chase and the car, does something really wild. And then you get a shot of the car seat and it's these two cats. One's
Cat's
driving
driving
the
the
car,
car. Yeah.
sunglasses. It's hilarious. Anyway.
But I ended up. I don't know why, but when the cop first came up to the side of the car, I had the video. When he first started talking, I first tasked me, I'm refusing to get my. I first started refused,
Mm-hmm.
and I have that all on video. And then when I said I'm going to go to Facebook Live, I stopped the video in order to switch to Facebook. But
It didn't
because
work.
of what's going on, I never made the switch.
Okay.
So then I got some video while I'm waiting for him to come back, and then I do have him when he came back to the car.
Okay.
So I have two short clips that are posted here on the network here on our channel. So
Okay.
check them out. They're kind of funny.
On YouTube or
Yeah, right here and on Facebook, both.
okay.
Shorter clips.
All right. Because
I do the whole.
we're also on Rumble and on Substack. So and it won't be there. So just YouTube.
It'll just be on YouTube, right. And but we are working on going to looking for young AV engineers so that we can start doing this thing across the board, the Big Seven, all of the Big Seven social media platforms coming forward. Not only for this, but for other Connecticut Common Sense podcasts that we're going to be working on.
I have some cool news about Connecticut.
Oh, great.
Been waiting for this, but the Department of Justice has sued Connecticut for our voter rolls. I can't even tell you how excited I am about that. I'm just like, woohoo!
Yeah, but what if they ignore it?
Um, I don't know what happens when they ignore it because, obviously,
We'll find out because they're probably going to ignore it.
of course they're going to ignore it. I mean, I'm a little surprised that we haven't. I think the only reason that we haven't heard anything from Senator Murphy, who is very enthusiastic about posting all sorts of protest videos about absolutely anything that the current administration cares to do.
Yeah.
But he's been way too busy, putting out tweets about Tim Walz and about Venezuela, and this whole like voter roll thing may not even be on his radar for all we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big deal, and so they sued. So I'm not sure how many they've got sued, right now, but they
Other
sued
states,
same
right?
time.
Yeah.
And Arizona is also, they're all a mess. Of the 35 states that United Americans has examined, and they are specifically examining voter rolls.
Yeah.
And
They're probably the worst.
they're specifically, well, it depends on the state, and it's like we don't know exactly what's happening, but the voter roll error is like some states are worse, and it's supposed to be 0.0008% error rate.
And we're probably at 20%.
We're at 14.2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So
point zero
some
zero
states
zero
are
eight.
way worse than us. Like
So
Idaho is like
with those two,
60%.
what are they at?
60%.
Oh wow, Idaho.
Idaho.
But Idaho goes
I think
red though.
well, here's my theory. This is a theory. This is my theory. Is that they are attempting the states where you see the bigger error is where people are trying to take it over.
Oh,
And they would have a harder time taking it over with that without the greater voter. And this, like I said, this isn't the machines. This has nothing to do with the machines. This is purely voter records.
voter record error.
This is voter registration.
Nothing to do with the votes themselves. It's to do with the
Yeah,
registration.
this has nothing to do with the machines, of which
Right.
that's a completely
That's a
different.
whole other problem.
That's a whole other problem. No, this is purely about the voter rolls.
Does that mean if Idaho was right, that it would be even more red?
Um, Possibly, but we don't have enough. The thing is, we don't know, and we should know.
Right.
This should be, what do the voters want? One person, one vote. That's what's in the Constitution.
Well, it's supposed to
And
be.
that's not what we have right now. That is not what we have.
Not even close.
There is the people who are doing this examination, 10,000 dead people on the Connecticut voter rolls that have voted.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the DOJ is aware of that, apparently.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are. They are, and that's great.
Well, they've all of the stuff that United American has been doing, it all gets filed legally, whether there's federal and then there's state. The SEEP has received quite a few, like lots of HAVA violations. HAVA is Help America Vote Act.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a ton of HAVA violations on file, which they are carefully ignoring. They have said, "Oh no, we can put this off. We don't have to look at this for another 18 months." Or, "Oh, look, that's too late. You can't do that." Or they just don't even answer. So
Maybe we should line up people to go to the Connecticut State Legislature when they do they know they do public speaking before their sessions, and we should line people up to go in there and
that's
start.
what's going to happen. That's
Yeah.
exactly what's going to happen is the
They can't ignore it after a while.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna do a formal statement. There's gonna be a formal statement by volunteers, and I'm actually volunteered, so we'll see where I end up.
Great.
But yeah, so they're gonna be doing, and you can come and film this because
That I want to come film.
yeah, they need people to do it anyway.
Let me know when. I will be there.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so they're gonna do the state legislature first, and then all 169 towns are gonna get a similar statement at one of their town meetings.
And that's what I want to know. The ones that drag their feet after that will go with cameras to those towns.
Yeah, that's and and some are going to be, some, but this the same statement is basically going to each town, but we you name names of the select, the
Yeah.
selectmen and the registrars of voters and stuff like that. And the registrars of voters, if there's any listening, would be very well served to make sure that your voter rolls are clean, because don't think the Secretary of State is going to protect you.
You will not.
Yeah, that she will be happy to throw you guys under the bus. And
We're
it's
coming. If you're a voter registrar in any town in Connecticut and you're just letting your voter rolls go to hell, we're coming for you. The DOJ is coming, not me, but the DOJ is coming for you.
the DOJ
And
is
people,
coming.
we the people are coming for you. We're gonna get this fair
Yeah,
elections in Connecticut.
yeah, because this is not okay. And it's
No, it's not okay at all.
even if, and this isn't to blame individual registrars and voters, because sometimes your voter rolls are clean and we don't know what the shenanigans are. But the best thing you guys can do is make sure that your town is cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was interesting because I had a nice chat with my mayor like last year, and he was like, "Oh no, our voter rolls are great." And I got a copy of those
Ooh,
voter rolls.
crap.
You can do that with a FOIA request. It wasn't
Yeah.
a request. It got passed on to me. But I was sending out letters and I got back at least three. I sent out, I think, probably 20 letters, and I got at least three back. Nope, not at this address, not valid. And it's like,
Wow.
awesome.
This isn't even a Democrat or Republican issue. What's fair is fair.
Yes, yeah, this should be a nonpartisan issue.
It should be.
It should be.
At the top, it is a partisan issue, but among the people, I don't think it is. I think most people want fair elections.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I like to
I
think
mean,
so.
it's like, never mind what people want. It's in the freaking Constitution. It's in the Constitution. One person, one vote.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited that they got to Connecticut. And I know they're going to get to everybody, but yeah, and that's good. So, and I get another little, I mean, and this is actually from, because I tend to, I pay attention to all of New England, partly because I travel back and forth to Maine.
Sure.
So there's in Maine, uh I don't know if any of you guys remember the shooting in Lewiston last year. Do you remember that?
I do remember something about that.
Yeah, so there was a man who he went into, it was a medication issue. They knew there was a problem. They'd reported it. He went into a bowling alley, which of course was a no firearm zone. He walked in with firearms, started killing people.
I think I remember that now. Yeah.
I was actually up in Maine when that happened, so it was a little scary because for a while they didn't know where he was.
Right.
Lewiston is not that far from, it's probably 40 miles from where I usually am. So in Maine, that ain't nothing. So, so he kind of went missing for a while, and then he took himself out. And so there was a lot of money that got collected that was supposed to go to the victims and to the victims' families, and gone,
Wow.
completely gone. Bunch of it went to, they tracked it. Not a bit of it made it into where it was actually collected for. Not a bit of it. So the town of Lewiston has a substantial Somali population. Substantial.
Oh.
Yeah, and that happened Obama era. They just flew a bunch of them in. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember when it happened, and it was like, why is that a good idea?
And they
Uh,
don't come here to be Americans. They bring their
well,
corrupt culture with them.
I'm sure everyone who, there was a lot
Minnesotans know.
of suspicion, but Maine, whitest state in the nation. Seriously, was
Yeah.
the whitest state in the nation. I'm not sure where we're at now because there's a lot of Chinese tongs up there too right now.
Yeah.
But so they had a selectman they elected this guy who was Somalian. Apparently had gun charges against him, like he had an illegal firearm.
Oh my
Never
goodness.
been resolved. And
A
they
pending criminal matter, and he's still elected mayor.
yeah. And so it gets better because the house that he said was his residence is like clearly abandoned.
Oh wow.
Totally abandoned. This thing actually got Elon Musk's attention.
Flying them in right from Somalia.
I don't know. So people protested enough that he finally resigned. And that happened today, I think.
Oh, today he resigned. That's good.
Yeah, so it was like might have been this morning or last night or something like that. It was,
Well, we get some podcasters up there to expose the corruption in Maine and what's going on with that.
there's some good work going on up there. There's actually some good stuff going on up there in terms of reporting.
I
There
think that's great because actually this thing in Minnesota has triggered,
Oh
I
dear
think,
God.
a big investigation of this stuff. Because if Minnesota is and California are both having massive fraud, which we know now, and seeing it in Maine, there's no doubt it's happening here in Connecticut as well.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Absolutely.
we should do a daycare audit, Connecticut audit.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. I mean,
Well, Governor Lamont just talked about increasing daycares.
mhm.
That was just on his.
Just what he talked about. I know. I saw that.
He
So
talked-
where would we get a list of the state sponsored daycare centers?
We can probably find that. We can probably find that.
If we can find that, I'll go out and start checking them out.
I think that would be a fabulous idea.
Hmm.
I think it's an excellent idea. So, and there is sad news out of Minnesota, because some woman decided to run over an ICE agent
Oh,
this
yeah.
morning, and he she got shot. She's dead.
Yeah.
And apparently, this wasn't the first time someone tried to run this guy over. So,
Yeah. This guy got dragged by a car
yeah,
earlier in Minnesota earlier this year. Same guy.
yeah. So it's like,
Yeah,
and
they're less painting it out like it's like they're slanting the story to make it look like an ice aggressive action or whatnot.
yeah, it's
Not
ridiculous.
not good.
I mean, we've if you're on X, you've seen plenty of videos of people hanging off the cars, and trying, and then there's been some of people trying to run over.
Yeah, driving there. There's been over. My understanding, there's been over 100 incidents now of people trying to run over ICE agents with vehicles.
Yeah,
Or 100.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
look.
apparently this woman was visiting a friend, and the friend thought that it would be a fun thing to go to the protest.
Yeah, I understand. I heard a little bit about this, and
Hmm.
she's supposedly she's yeah, she was had a girlfriend. She was married to another woman, I guess.
Oh, hadn't heard that.
Yeah, she was married to a woman. They're two married women, and that she was honestly not the type of person you would have expected to do something like that, but she became more and more,
People are very
sissy, more and more ballsy about what she did, and just this, she that day she just went a little nutty, and I'm sorry that happened to her, but you can't interfere with law enforcement. What's the name of that movie? What's the name of the movie line? You play with the fire, you get the cheese, or what's the I forget what the quote is. It's from a movie. God, I wish I had it. I used to say it all the time when I was younger. You play with the four, you get the chair, or something like that. I
Hmm.
forget what it was. Damn, I gotta remember that. What is
Well,
it?
Play with a bull, you get the horns.
Play with the bull, you get the horns.
okay. Okay.
That's what it is. You play with the bull, you get the horns.
Man.
Don't mess with ICE agents. They're trying to do a good thing for Americans. And I think most of us know that. I think it looks like when you watch on TV, it looks like that the whole country is rising up against ICE. It's not true. Just a bunch of unhinged, uninformed, far left wingers that are doing these protests. Most people are applauding what ICE is doing.
Mhm.
Most people in Chicago and in Portland, by the way, most people regular people living in Minneapolis, I'm sure, are applauding what ICE is doing. So you don't get that side of the story in the media, and that's one of the things we want to do. We want to bring real
Yeah, the media's
stories.
awful.
Media
Unless you're on X. I mean, we do see some of this stuff on Facebook
Yeah,
now.
social media is okay.
Yeah,
Social media at least has some of the stuff.
yeah. The regular media, heck no.
Forget about it. They need to be replaced.
Mm.
They just need to be. I know they don't good like Channel 3, Channel 30. Those guys, they don't get good ratings. I know that. But I thought about having like we got to get some good young investigative journalists involved. Like go up to a Channel 3 news crew and interview them. How come you're not? Here's our three major stories that clearly impact people
Yeah.
that could get pretty heavily. How come these aren't being covered?
Why are we not seeing this? So yeah.
Why is this not on your newscast? Or I could find out who the chief nighttime editor is, Eyewitness News, and then catch him at the mall one day in his parking lot or whatever, and walk up and just start asking him questions.
Oh,
How come you don't cover it? You're a news editor for a major station, a CBS affiliate, know yet, and yet these three major stories you don't cover. Tell me why. The people want to know. You're live on Facebook. What's going on here?
hmm.
Yeah, it's time to get to the bottom of this, man. We got to save this country. It's
Yeah.
really a lot of trouble internally.
Yeah, I think one of the things that made me really happy about the Lewiston story is that it really showed that that if citizens show up, that
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
yeah, and there was another incident where they got where a teacher got fired from a school where this teacher was, promoting the trans stuff, and they managed to get the teacher fired. So that's happening in Maine, and if it's happening in Maine, it can happen here.
And that's why we say over and over again, passive support isn't enough. You got to show up at your RTCs. You got to show up at your town council meeting. Forget about the RTCs. Show up at the town council meetings. Show
Yeah,
up at the board of education meetings. That's where these ridiculous decisions are being made.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
where the rubber meets the road. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, common sense is we don't want look, it's one thing to accept people who feel like they're transgender and accept that person for who they are. That's okay.
Right.
That's different than promoting transgender
Yes.
to
Yes.
the point where we have now as much as 7% of our kids saying that they're transgender.
Yeah, that's
That number should be 1 or 2%.
yeah.
It's been 1 or 2% for
It,
hundreds of years. When
yeah.
it's suddenly 7%, it tells you we have a problem.
Yes. That
Okay,
is.
we don't want to promote transgenderism. Transgenderism is a problem in a some. If you're somebody who's growing up, I can't even imagine. I've always known I'm a guy, and I've always been cool with it. Thankfully, I feel thankful for that now because I can't imagine what it'd have been like growing up being unsure about something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe natural for some people to feel that way, but I think most people grow out of things like that. But when you start promoting it,
No, that statistically,
yeah, they
statistically,
grow out of it. You come an adult, you're like, yeah, I'm okay. Like,
they absolutely grow out of it. Usually, the vast majority of children who have some form of gender confusion grow up and become gay. They recognize that they're gay, and then they settle down, and it's fine. And if they want to have kids, then they can work that out.
they just grow out of it. Period. Like I know people.
Or yeah, they just are like, oh, that was a,
Okay,
you
okay,
know,
I'm a woman. It's cool. Or I'm a man or whatever. It's cool.
yeah,
Whatever. I'm going forward. Whatever. It's called maturity.
yeah. And I was a total tomboy growing up. I ran
Yeah.
around the woods. My mother was totally in support of this because that's how she was. She thought that was normal. My nickname, a friend of mine nicknamed me Beast Woman.
That's it's better. It's worse than Beaver. They called me Beaver for a while, but
I was okay with it. I thought it was
yeah,
kind of cute, and
yeah, kind
he
of beast
also thought I
like
was hot,
tough
so
one,
that was all right. Yeah, so
tough woman. Yeah,
it was okay,
yeah.
So because I ran around in the woods and I climbed trees and I'd swing off ropes and stuff. So and
I think because like you could argue that the feminine side of me is definitely has a presence because I'm not afraid to talk about my emotions and things like that. Like a lot of guys won't even touch that stuff. And so there's things about me that I know that by the way, everybody's got estrogen and testosterone flowing through them, by the way.
yes,
Everybody, even Lou Ferrigno himself has a little bit of estrogen going in there because we all have a feminine side and all women have a kind of a manly side to them. It's some more so than others, but that's normal. And you're growing up. Maybe sometimes that's confusing for some people.
and
And then
it's another if you know we have men and women. We
sure,
ideally we are a team. It's like we got qualities that work well, you got qualities that work well, and they're not the same thing, which means that we can specialize a little bit, and that's totally okay.
that's okay. So, and
But
I'm not against transgender people. I'm not against people that feel that way. What I'm against is the way the government is taking that.
Mhm.
Bad
That's a
actors are
safer
taking that and
tool.
using it to break down the family. Is what they're doing, and that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think parents should be able to send their kid to private school that would teach something like that. It's just like, oh my God. But, you know, although it's, I think it's useful to think about the fact that, first of all, our taxes are paying for this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, so it's like,
Ugh.
I could, I was thinking about schools this morning because I can't tell you how unskilled with anything I was when I graduated from high school. Like,
Yeah, you teach you nothing.
no, it's like anything that had to do with life skills. And
No
so
life
much
skills.
of the anxiety I
Right.
had in my life could have been alleviated by one word, competence.
You know that John Rockefeller was one of the men that was behind the formation of our modern education system?
I didn't realize he was involved with that.
Yeah, and he used to
I,
say, like,
I totally blame him for our medical system, but I didn't realize he was.
no, he was, you know what he used to say? He says, we're looking for a society of not of free thinkers, but of workers.
Well, I know that's why. I just didn't realize
That's
it.
what our education system is built around, that philosophy.
Yes, 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 absolutely agreed.
And
Absolutely.
that's a
You know,
problem.
some
That needs to
people
be
don't.
changed. And here's the thing,
Exactly.
getting back to support, I talk about the difference between active and passive support.
Mm,
In Connecticut, we have a lot of passive support.
mhm.
In Maine, it looks like we're getting more active support up there with people, with what happened in Lewiston.
Yeah.
You need people in Connecticut to step up, start going to these meetings in numbers, and start making their voices heard.
Yep.
And like you said, it's absolutely true. We can affect change in if we rise up in big numbers and start coming out and making her know that. Don't be afraid. Know that most people are on your side. Most people do not want to see this transgender business taking over our country.
Yeah.
It's
And
ridiculous.
you can always ease into it because almost all of these like town meetings and stuff, they're almost always recorded now.
Yeah,
You can watch some and kind of see what's going on.
sure.
You don't have to show up in person at first. That doesn't have to be something that
Want to observe? I always say it's good to
you work into
investigate.
this. It's okay. You know?
Investigate first from afar, and then decide what you. Then that helps you plan better what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Don't
But
waste too much time because it's already January. We got elections coming up in November, so
yeah.
check a little bit online for a month or what, and then get start showing up at these things. Maybe I should emphasize town meetings and board of education meetings and things like that more so
Yeah,
than
I'm kind
RTCs.
of leaning in that direction myself.
Yeah,
I now know when, although the caucuses, the Republican town committee caucuses are between,
well,
they have to happen between the 6th and the 12th. So I have found out where mine,
already over,
oh,
almost.
yeah, it's almost, and they're supposed to post them publicly.
They don't.
Some are really good about it. Sometimes they're going to be really good about it. Mine posted on Facebook. Facebook is not a newspaper.
No,
On Facebook. I don't know if they posted it anywhere else. I'm gonna look around and try and find, but it's like,
that's interesting though. In this new era with the internet and everything, what is the public forum? It clearly used to be the
yeah,
newspaper,
that's actually a legitimate
and
question.
nobody reads that anymore. So what is it now?
Right, exactly. And it's like Facebook, it's like, well, you have to have kind of a membership. And
Facebook's a big
I
forum.
do not have an account on Facebook. And
Right, it's a big forum, and it's not the forum. But
yeah,
not everybody subscribed to the Hartford Courant either.
yeah, but you could probably get a copy at the library.
Yeah, or any
I
newsstand
can't get
report.
on Facebook in the library.
And there's not a
You
Facebook
still
stand.
need an account.
There's not a little black Facebook metal box at every street corner either. You put a quarter in and pull out the
Right,
newspaper.
right.
Right? You don't have that
Yeah.
for Facebook.
Yeah,
We all
it's
walking around with ours. We all walk around with it though.
not.
So
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, I also don't.
But why would Facebook be the forum versus Substack or anything
Well,
else?
I don't know if you remember, but way back in last March when I ended up at the women's, the Conservative Women's Forum and ended up really annoying one of the state central members. And I said, why are there not websites for all of these RTCs? And they're like, well, they're on Facebook.
Oh, geez. Maybe there should be each town should have like an official. Well, every town does have an official website, but maybe there should be a section on every. If maybe there is like where people have to
Um,
post these things like foreclosures and all these things that people post
yeah.
publicly.
Well, I think it has to do with the legal structure of the political parties, and maybe this was one of the reasons why George Washington was opposed to the Durham things.
Yes, he was. They're
Um,
private corporations,
they are private, yes, they are private corporations.
really
So
under no obligation to the people whatsoever. At
yeah,
the end of the day,
they really aren't,
no.
and it's it's very disturbing, and we've seen a lot of on a federal level. Unfortunately, we have no Republican representation in Connecticut. Almost none. And But on on even in places where we were just talking about this with Jonathan, what's a rhino versus a Republican who's willing to do some negotiating. And it's like there's a bunch of Republicans who in the federal legislature who are just voted to fund all of the stuff that Doge found and said this is garbage.
Mhm.
There were a bunch of Republicans that said, "Oh, hey, let's fund that." And I was like, you do what are you thinking?
Right. So somebody the other day was telling me, like, Mike Johnson is also a rhino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
Right.
he's been they're looking at him for smurfing. Him and John Thune.
Yeah.
Both
So
of
they're
them.
actually just placating to Trump just for lip service, really, and which is why, and I've complained about this before. All these executive orders that Trump is writing in that are helping this country aren't going to mean anything when a new president comes in, especially if it's in the side. And they won't. They're not solidified with legislation. For instance, the whole
Right.
business about men and women's sports. Trump signed an executive order about that, but there's nothing enforceable about that.
No, no, it's not.
Executive orders are meant for government employees. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what
Interesting.
they're for.
It makes sense. It makes
If you're the
sense.
CEO of Domino's and you come up with an executive order that everyone at Domino's must come in with, their new Domino's buttons on their uniform starting Monday.
Right.
All right, that's what it's for.
Okay.
That's what executive orders have always been for. And if you look at our history, they were used properly up until like late 20th century, when presidents started using them to make laws.
Right.
Right. And now Obama blew it up. He did like 218. He's the one that decided he was a dictator, that traitor. And ever since then, all the presidents been using it on both sides.
Yeah.
Trump has used
Well,
it.
once you take the tool out of the bag, no one's putting it back in.
None of Trump's. I love Trump, but none of his executive orders mean anything legally. At the end of the day,
right?
It's unless you're a government employee. Okay, that's what it's for. It's for the Trump. Trump is the head of the executive branch and the head of the government employees. He's the CEO of the federal government organization, and his executive orders are for them.
Right. So this is one of the reasons why I'm really happy that they are suing for the voter rolls. And I just, there are much bigger states than Connecticut, but I like it, it's like we live here.
Well, Connecticut's one of the original 13 colonies, and we have 3 million people.
Well, I mean,
we're
New
next to New York.
England.
We're a significant place.
Yeah.
We're also one of the richest states in the country in terms of
Yeah,
what really is out there for wealth. And getting back to this real quick with we got a real problem on our hands. If a guy like Mike Johnson, who I was actually looking up to, like thinking what a great guy he is, but he's not doing. He is actually one of the biggest threats. Why? Because he's sitting on none of this stuff that Trump has done an executive order for is being solidified with legislation. None of it. The big beautiful bill did pass.
Yeah.
Painstakingly. Thank goodness. But
that was
that doesn't have anything to do with none of the culture war stuff is in there. So none of what Trump has done executively is being backed by our legislature, by the United States Congress. None of it.
Yeah. And John Thune is like, I don't know, he may actually be worse considering.
Does that mean we have to, Bethune, does that mean we have to primary our own people to try to get more MAGA people into the more American fighting people?
And the only way we do that is if Republicans get involved in their RTCs, which is really
comes
hard.
around, right?
For some places, it's like, so like I said, I'm going to go to my caucus on Monday.
If you're sitting around watching this and you're living in a town like Thomaston, say, and you want to help, and I want to help, whatever, do it. We can help you, but do it. Talk to your friends that are on you. We all have friends and family that are on our side that say the same things, and just start, instead of sitting around the dinner table talking about it, go out and start doing it. Start showing up at the RTCs, start showing up to the DTCs, start showing up to the Board of Education meetings, run for office, get other people involved that feel the way you do, and just start showing up in numbers. It's the only way.
Yeah.
And it happened in Maine. Selena just told you guys about what happened in Lewiston. You start showing up. Remember when we went to protest John Flynn being incarcerated at Whiting?
Yep.
And it was just you and me and like maybe 5 other people by the highway. That sucks, man. John Flynn eventually got out because of a really awesome attorney. He got him out of there.
Yeah, and in a good chunk of the fee for that was crowdfunded.
Right. So the people do
Paid
want.
for some of it, and the rest of it got crowdfunded.
It's
So
really, and people do help, and there are people that help. They donate. That's great. Keep it up. Money's great. Money's needed, but time is actually even more important.
when it comes to politics, absolutely. And that's, and I
Using your
get it.
time.
It's
So,
hard. It's hard. Uh,
and remember, the people are on our side. Most people do not want these nasty draconian policies in place. They just don't. So, get involved. Get involved. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Selena's word for it. See for yourself and get involved. Be an independent thinker. There are 15% of us that are independent thinkers,
hmm,
and you know who you are.
yeah, yeah.
Those of you have a responsibility as an independent thinker to go out and rally other people around you that may have this feel the way you do, but just don't have the drive or the independent thinking ability to make it happen. So if you're an independent thinker and you know who you are, it's your responsibility to go out there and get others behind you and make it happen.
Do it.
Darn right. Amen. Are we there?
I think we're there.
Okay.
Take
It's
us
been a
out.
good show.
Yeah.
I look forward to getting more guests on here. We had John DeBarros the other day. He was awesome. Would you ever find out what happened yesterday at noon with that?
Forget.
Okay, we'll work on that. We'll get them on. We'll figure it out. So stay tuned. This is going to get better and better. We're going to do more and more. I did, like I said, a lot of live casting this morning on Facebook. And so we're going to do more and more of that on all the social media platforms. So get ready.
All right.
All right. With that, we're going to say goodbye for the day. God bless Connecticut. God bless America.
Good night, everybody.
Good day. Good night, everybody.